You know, when I was young, I always wondered to myself, why are rich people always hanging around banks? And now as I invest in real estate, I get it. The banking system is such an important part of investing. Real estate is kind of a way to print money like the Fed, over here doing this, if you know how to use the financial system correctly. One of the things that I love using are home equity line of credits, or called HELOCs. And I always thought I couldn't get a HELOC on an investment property. In this video, I'll explain if you can get a HELOC on a property, what your other financing options are, and how you can use your investments to maximize your returns, avoid taxes, and all that good stuff. All right, let's get into it. So as I mentioned before, a home equity line of credit is basically a bank account that is secured by your house. Basically, if you don't pay it back, they're gonna take your house. Don't do anything dumb with it, like go buy a Maserati. It's a great tool though for real estate investing, and I've used it in my own investing journey, and it's been really helpful when I did a live-in flip of my own house. So it's really common for people to get them on their personal residence, their primary personal residence. And what that usually can be is somewhere to 80 to 90% loan to value. So that means if you have a house worth $100,000 and you have a mortgage on it for $50,000, let's say, then you can take a home equity line of credit from somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000 to get you 50 plus 30 to 40, which takes you to 80 or 90. Hope that makes sense. So basically, you can borrow a total of 80 to 90% of the entire value of your house. So the mortgage has to subtract out. So anyway, hope that makes sense. And if not, you can reach out to me with any questions you have. I'm really happy to help you get connected with the people that help me with HELOCs and that kind of thing. The other question that I had was a home equity line of credit against a home that's not your primary residence. So looking at a vacation rental or a investment property. So what I found out is if the home is held in my personal name, it actually is possible to get a home equity line of credit. And by the way, I went on Google and I typed that in the lending tree and they said they could help me. And holy crap, did I get a ton of phone calls from a million mortgage people that all didn't even know what I was looking for. And don't ever do that, by the way, just a little tip. I actually circled back to my local banks and found a local bank that was able to do a home equity line of credit on an investment property. And they have some different rules than the personal property. You have to have a pretty high credit score usually, and they're gonna give you 70% loan to value. So it's not gonna be as high as a loan to value on the rental property, but still is a good option, especially in today's high interest rates. One of the things I really like about getting HELOCs versus just totally refinancing the property is that I'm not paying interest on debt that I'm not using. So I only am paying interest on the money if I'm actually using that money and I've taken it out of the home equity line of credit. So that to me is a very nice thing to have. So I can have like a big line of credit that I'm not paying interest on, but when I need it, I can pull that money to buy investment property. So I like that as a tool. It is variable rate, and I also think that it's not tax deductible on the interest. Though I'm not 100% sure on that, you should definitely check with a tax accountant. So I'm right now going through the process with S&T Bank, and that should be done in a few weeks. I'm going to pull an appraisal on the property. And that's another tip when you're getting a HELOC. They may have a computer system that's going to tell you what that property is worth. And if you think that that's coming in low, ask for a real appraisal. That can really up the value that you get, because one thing that's important is to understand that when you say that's 80 to 90% of the value, well, how are they figuring out the value? Is the computer system doing it? And a lot of times the computer is pretty conservative, and it's much better to pay that about $500 fee to have an appraiser come out to the house and give a correct or at least a closer value to what your house is really worth. Well, if you have any questions about this or are looking, again, I recommend trying to look for local credit unions or local banks that may do this. It's more common. It's hard to find it in the general mortgage market. It's kind of a weird niche thing. I'm happy to help you connect with my contacts if you're looking to do that. And yeah, I think again, HELOCs are a great option to have a line of credit available to help you buy more real estate. And I like that you're not paying the interest on the money and you just have access to it. You can always then refinance that debt as long-term debt if you want to get a fixed interest rate, because again, it is a variable interest rate. If they keep raising rates, then it may increase the amount of interest on your HELOC. Another thing to note is that a lot of times these HELOCs are interest-only payments, which is nice. So you can really borrow a lot of money for for pretty cheap. My one home equity line of credit, I think the interest rate was around 4%. So it's better than mortgage rates right now. Yeah, again, it's gonna be way cheaper than hard money, which is private money lent to investors for flips. And I know a lot of people, one of my friends who's probably the best flipper I know, he uses a home equity line of credit against his house to finance his flips. And that really reduces the amount of cost that he's got for flipping. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below or feel free to reach out to me. My contact information's in the description. Have a great day.